What's the one thing that every podcaster wants to do? It's to make money from their content. We want to grow an audience, share what we know and believe and think, and then to make money from it, right? Whether that's indirectly by selling a product or a service, or directly through something like Castos ads and programmatic ad insertion, or what we're going to talk about today, which is accepting listener donations to directly make money from your content through Castos Commerce. Let's dive in and see how you can make money from your podcast starting today. Hey there, Craig Hewitt here from Castos. Welcome back to the channel. Here we're going to talk all about how you can make money directly from your podcast through the Castos Commerce platform. Castos Commerce is our solution to taking out all the complications of platforms like Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, or even kind of some of the bigger website platforms like Ghost, where you gotta kind of go all in on those platforms to set up your podcast and your content and your audience and your money making mechanism. And we've just built the really core functionality of those things into Castos, and we call that Castos Commerce. In this video, we're going to walk through how you can set up your account in Castos Commerce, establish either one-time or recurring donation levels, and then display that on the front end of the Castos websites that we built for every podcast out there. And then you can go share that with your audience and start making money from your podcast today. Okay, let's dive in. Here in our Castos dashboard, we're going to head over to the monetization tab to enroll in Castos Commerce first. Here you can see we have two options for monetization at Castos right now. Castos ads, so that's programmatic ad insertion for your podcast. So in a click of a button, we automatically insert pre-roll and post-roll ads to your shows, and you get paid based on the number of impressions that your show receives. So it's kind of roughly correlated with downloads. But what we're going to talk about today is Castos Commerce. So we'll click the Join Today button, and this adds you to the wait list. Every application is reviewed by us, and typically you're approved in about 24 hours. You'll get an email notification when your application and your wait list has been submitted, and then another one when we've approved it. So we've received the confirmation that our podcast has been approved by Castos Commerce. And now we'll log back into our dashboard, head over to the monetization section, and finish setting this up. Here we'll go configure Castos Commerce. And this will take us through just a couple of steps that we need to do to configure this and get our podcast ready to accept listener donations. And the first is we use a payment processing platform called Stripe to accept credit card payments from your listeners on your behalf, and then we pay that out to you. You know, as a sidebar, one of the really big benefits of Castos Commerce versus a lot of other kind of listener-supported platforms, again, like Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, is all of those other platforms take a pretty big chunk of revenue, up to 10%, just for processing a payment for you. And Castos Commerce takes absolutely no cut other than just the regular credit card processing fees, which we can't do anything about. But we don't take any cut of the revenue. It all gets passed directly to you into your bank account for you to, grow your brand or spend money on, right? So really big benefit. Castos Commerce doesn't take any revenue share or any cut of revenue. You keep all of it after the credit card processing fee. We use Stripe as a mechanism or a way for you to accept credit card payments on your behalf. And so you just need to sign up for a Stripe account. They're entirely free. They'll ask you some information about like you or your brand or your business and where you're located. They'll want to know how to pay you money out, right? And that's your bank account information typically. So if I were to click this Connect with Stripe button, it would take me over to the Stripe platform and ask me if I want to authorize Castos to kind of communicate and talk and be integrated with my Stripe account. I'd say yes, and it would bring me right back to this page. And instead of this terrible, ugly red disconnected, it'll say you're connected and you're good to go. Now we'll head back to the monetization section and back to configure Castos ads. So if your customers need to do things like update a credit card or get a receipt or things like that, we send them to the Stripe kind of customer dashboard. And so to have as much kind of brand continuity as possible from your podcast website to the checkout or donate page to the customer portal, we let you kind of customize the brand look and feel and assets within the Stripe dashboard. So we'll go to manage branding here, and this takes you into the Castos Stripe account. But you see, like, we have our icon, we have our logo, we have some colors set up here. And so when you log in and see this, you say, oh, this kind of looks like Castos, right? You see our logo and our colors and things like that. So this is a really nice kind of touch to let your customers know that, hey, they're in the right place and they can trust what's going on here. Stripe is, by far the leading payment processing platform out there for kind of anything having to do with online commerce. And so we're really happy to partner with them. Okay, so here we're in the state where we've connected our Stripe account to Castos, and that has been all set up. We see the green bar here. Stripe is connected and ready to use. Now it's time to set up the donation levels and figure out whether we will let folks donate one time or on a recurring basis to us and our show. So to do that, we'll head over to the Commerce tab and start building this out. So if you have multiple shows, you'll just select the one that you want to enable Castos Commerce for, and then select the donation option. Currently, it's the only one that we have, but the big one that's coming in the future is subscriptions, letting people be on paid subscriptions to gate content. But for now, we have donations, so we'll select the donations option and click next. And then here, it's just a decision on your end of how much you want to let folks donate to your show. So something that typically would be is like $5, $10, and maybe $25. So if someone goes to your podcast website by Castos and clicks on the donate button, they'll see these 3 tiers as options that they can pay to. You also have the ability to say whether you want it to be a monthly recurring, or a one-time. For now, let's just keep it as one time because this is a little simpler. And now, if you want to enter custom information about you and yourself and how they can get in touch with you, you can do that here. I'll type that in here real quick. So now you can say, hey, why should folks, donate money and support my show? So you can say, support the show so I can keep creating awesome content. This will vary for you and your show for sure. If you want to set up a custom message after the donation has been complete, you can do that. Say, thanks so much for supporting the arts and my wallet. Right, so you can get, cute here if you want. And if you have your own kind of custom terms, like maybe you're a bigger brand and you already have terms around, customers and support, you can add that link in here. I'm going to leave this blank for now. Great, and so I'll say save, and we're off to the races. So now everything is set up. You enabled Castos Commerce and were approved by us. Again, that typically takes about 24 hours. You connected your Stripe account. Remember, Stripe is the credit card payment processor that we use. Don't take any of that revenue, right? But just Stripe is the way that credit cards are processed online for a lot of folks. Once you set that up, then you came in and set the donation levels, a little bit of customization around the page there. And now we're ready to view our page. So we can view the page here. It'll open up in a new tab. And it's pretty awesome, right? So this is a really simple page that's hosted right on your Castos website. And you can, folks can come in here, enter name, email address, and then choose the donation amount that they want, and then continue on to payment and pay you with their credit card. So, Castos Commerce and donations, really simple, easy way for you to make really pretty good money from your podcast by accepting listener donations directly. The last thing I want to show you is back in our Castos dashboard, we have a lot of analytics and reporting on how much money you're making from your shows. So if you click on the monetization tab, you'll see this kind of headline look at how much money you've made in the last month, both from Castos ads and advertising, donations, and then we mentioned subscriptions and one-time purchases are coming soon. We've already kind of stubbed those out here, so you have those fields. If we were making money from our show, you'd see a really great graph here of what this looks like. And then down below, we break this out by kind of modality, right? So from ads and from donations, how much money have you made in the last few months? We can go up here and click on the Commerce tab, and it'll show us specifically for Castos Commerce and any of the podcasts that we have it enabled on, how many customers we have, how many transactions, and what our earnings history has been. So really cool way for us to be able to share with you just how well your show is doing in the monetization category. I hope that was helpful in walking through how you can set up Castos Commerce, define your donation levels for your listeners to support your podcast, make a little bit of money, share that with your audience, and hopefully grow your brand as a result. Head over to castos.com/commerce to learn more about this. If you have any questions, drop a comment in below. Always looking to help folks out and see how we can help you become a better, more prosperous podcaster. As always, if you're enjoying the channel, it sends a lot of really great signals both to us and to YouTube. If you hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell here in YouTube, we sure would appreciate it. And if there's anything you want to hear more about, just let us know. See you next time.